Hi, welcome back to anatomy classes. We are continuing with the discussion and spotters, and previous sessions we have seen about abdomen discussion and spotters, and today we are going to do with the organs in the pelvis. So the pelvic organs which we are going to see mainly are urinary bladder, uterus and testis. These three organs are very important for discussion as well as for the spotters. Of female pelvis, and this is the male pelvis sagittal section, and let's see how the organs are present in the lesser pelvis. So the specimen here in my hand is the female pelvis, and female pelvis, it is bounded anteriorly by the pubis and posteriorly by the sacrum. The organs which are present in the pelvis are urinary bladder, uterus and the rectum. The urinary bladder is a retropubic organ which is present just behind the pubis, and it is separated from the pubis by a space which is called as retropubic space. And urinary bladder is separated from the uterus, uterovesical pouch, which contains the coils of small intestine and sigmoid colon. So this is the uterus. And here is the rectum. Rectum is resting over the posterior wall of the pelvis, that is the sacrum, and it adheres to the sacrum by Waldeus fascia, which is the thickening of posterior peritoneum. And the gap between the uterus and the rectum is formed by a peritoneal pouch which is called as recto-uterine pouch, and it too contains the coils of the small intestine. So we are going to start with the urinary bladder. So the pinned organ is urinary bladder in sagittal section. So identify the pinned organ. We are going to discuss in detail later. And between the urinary bladder and the uterus, uterovesical pouch, where the coils of the small intestine and sigmoid colon. The peritoneal pouch between the rectum and the uterus is the recto-uterine pouch. The third spotter is the recto-uterine pouch. So spotter number 4 is the retropubic space, which is between the urinary bladder and posterior surface of pubis. So these are the spotters which can be asked in sagittal section. Uterus can be asked in sagittal section also. So identify the pinned organ, that is the uterus, and the sub-questions which we are going to discuss little later. Sagittal section of male pelvis, it is identified by the absence of uterus. There is no uterus here, and anteriorly it is bounded by the pubis, this is the pubis, and posteriorly by the sacrum. And we can see two organs in the lesser pelvis, that is the urinary bladder and the rectum. And the pouch between the urinary bladder and the rectum is called as rectovesical pouch, which contains the coils of small intestine and sigmoid colon. And posterior part surface of the urinary bladder is related to vas deferens. We can see the vas deferens here, and we can see even the seminal vesicles. These are the seminal vesicles, and this is the vas deferens which is present on the posterior surface of the urinary bladder. And in this section we can also appreciate the prostate gland, which is present around the neck of the urinary bladder. Here is the prostate gland. And let's see the spotters. The urinary bladder can be pinned sometimes. Identify the pinned spotter, that is the urinary bladder, which we are going to discuss it again. So this is the vas deferens. The pinned structure is the vas deferens, which can be asked in sagittal section. And the pouch between the rectum and the urinary bladder is the rectovesical pouch. So identify the pinned space will be the question often asked. Probed space or probed pouch is the rectovesical pouch. So the rectovesical pouch contains the coils of the small intestine. So one is the urinary bladder, 2 is the vas deferens here, 2 is the vas deferens, and 3 is the rectovesical pouch. And sometimes retropubic space may also be asked. Here is the retropubic space, and 5 I am pinning as the rectum. This is the rectum. And the 6th spotter here I am going to pin the prostate gland. The pinned structure is the prostate gland. This is the prostate where I am pinning surrounding the neck of the urinary bladder. Revise once. 4 is the retropubic space, 1 is the urinary bladder, 2 is the vas deferens, and 3 here is the rectovesical pouch, and 5 is the rectum. And I am going to pin, I am going to remove these pins now, and 6 is the prostate gland. 6 is the prostate gland. So these are the spotters which can be asked in sagittal section of both male and female pelvis. Urinary bladder is a muscular bag which is a reservoir of urine, and where the ureters convey the urine to the urinary bladder. If we see urinary bladder, when it is empty, it is tetrahedral in shape, having an apex. This is the apex of the urinary bladder and superior surface of urinary bladder, and these two are inferolateral surface of urinary bladder, which are separated by a border called as the anterior border of the urinary bladder. And what is in my hand is the posterior surface. This is the posterior surface of urinary bladder, which is also called as base of the urinary bladder. And the lower constricted part here, this is the neck of the urinary bladder. The apex of the urinary bladder gives attachment to the urachus, which is the remnant of allantois, forms median umbilical ligament in adults. And superior surface of the urinary bladder is covered by the peritoneum, and where it is related to the uterus in females, and in males it is related to the peritoneal reflection between the rectum and the urinary bladder. In males it is called as rectovesical pouch, in females it is called as uterovesical pouch. And inferolateral surface of the urinary bladder, there are two inferolateral surfaces which are separated from the pubis by retropubic space, and this is the anterior border which separates the two inferolateral surfaces. Let's see the posterior surface. The posterior surface, this is a male urinary bladder, so we can see the vas deferens. This is the vas deferens, and these are seminal vesicles. So vas deferens is here, and these are seminal vesicles which are present on the posterior surface. So the peritoneum gets reflected superior to this vas deferens and seminal vesicles. And the neck of the urinary bladder is surrounded by a gland which is called as prostate gland. So what I am pinning is the prostate gland. It's important to know the ligaments associated with the urinary bladder. Ligaments are classified as true ligaments and false ligaments. True ligaments are lateral true ligaments, lateral puboprostatic ligaments in males, in females pubovesical ligaments, and medial puboprostatic ligaments in males, and medial pubovesical ligaments in females. And median umbilical ligament, which is nothing but the remnant of urachus, attaches to the apex of the urinary bladder. And posterior true ligaments. So these are the ligaments which are fibromuscular bands which supports the urinary bladder. And false ligaments are the peritoneal folds which are called as median umbilical fold, which covers the urachus, and medial umbilical folds, lateral false ligaments, posterior false ligaments. So these are the false ligaments associated with the urinary bladder. Arterial supply of the urinary bladder, it is supplied by superior vesical artery, inferior vesical artery, and obturator artery. In females, inferior vesical artery is replaced by vaginal arteries and uterine arteries. Venous plexus The vesical venous plexus drain into internal iliac veins. And nerve supply, which is very important in Viva. The nerve supply of urinary bladder, it is supplied by parasympathetic and sympathetic. Sympathetic is derived from T11 to L2, which is called nerve of filling, and parasympathetic is supplied by S2 to S4, which is nerve of voiding, and which is also called nervi erigantis. Pudendal nerve is the somatic nerve which supplies the external sphincter of the urethra, and it is derived from S2, S3 and S4. So that is about the nerve supply of urinary bladder. This is the interior of the urinary bladder showing the internal os, and this plain surface which doesn't have these foldings, mucosal foldings, is called as internal trigone of urinary bladder. If you see interiorly, the urinary bladder consists of several mucosal foldings which are called as rugae, and these mucosal foldings are temporary and they disappear when urinary bladder gets distended. But in the dependent part of the urinary bladder, where it is near to the internal os, there are no such mucosal foldings. It is shiny in appearance because submucosa is absent here and mucosa is adherent to the underlying tissue. And this trigone is called as internal trigone, where it is bounded on the either side by the openings of the ureters. So here we can see a minute openings which are nothing but the openings of the ureters covered by a semilunar fold of mucosa. And the muscular bridge which is present between the two ureteric openings is called as interureteric bridge, which is also called Mercier's bar. And if you draw a triangle, it is like an equilateral triangle. This internal trigone is clinically very important, which guides the physicians to put a catheter into the ureters. Let's see spotters associated with the urinary bladder. The whole organ can be pinned. Identify the pinned organ and mention its location, blood supply, and mention any true ligaments or false ligaments. All these may be asked as the sub-question. And second common question which is often asked associated with the urinary bladder are the seminal vesicles. Spotter number 2 is the seminal vesicles, which are related on the posterior surface of urinary bladder in males. And spotter number 3 is the prostate gland, which is surrounding around the neck of the urinary bladder. This is the prostate gland surrounding around the neck of the urinary bladder. And these thin tubes, this tube is the vas deferens. Interior of the urinary bladder may also pin sometimes. Identify the pinned area, that is the internal trigone of the urinary bladder. Boundaries, clinical aspect of it can be asked as a sub-question related to internal trigone of urinary bladder. The organ which is in my hands is the uterus. Uterus is a female reproductive organ which is pyriform shaped. The length of the uterus is approximately 7.5 centimeters and broad at its fundus, that is at the upper part, is 5 centimeters and the thickness is approximately 2.5 centimeters. So that is, these are the, and weight is 30 to 40 grams of weight. Location, the uterus is located in the lesser pelvis. As we just saw, it is present between the urinary bladder and the rectum. And parts of the uterus is divided into 3 parts, where on the either side there are the openings which communicate with the uterine tubes or fallopian tubes. So just above the fallopian tube, if you draw a line along the fallopian tube, the upper part of the uterus is called as the fundus and the rest of it is called as the body. And the body finally gets constricted and narrowed to form a tube-like structure which is called as cervix. Cervix continues below with the vagina. So these are the parts of the uterus. Communications, on the either side it communicates with the uterine tubes or the fallopian tubes, and below it is communicates with the vagina. Ligaments of the uterus, like urinary bladder, uterus also has got false ligaments and true ligaments. False ligaments are peritoneal folds which are associated with the uterus. The false ligaments are anterior ligament, posterior ligament. On the either side of the uterus, there is a peritoneal fold which is called as broad ligaments. The broad ligament of the uterus is a false ligament which is a secondary support to the uterus present on the either side of the uterus. The contents of broad ligament are uterine tubes, round ligament of uterus, ligament of ovary, uterine vessels, ovarian vessels, uterovaginal and ovarian nerve plexus, and hypophoron and paraoophoron, and some lymph nodes and lymphatics. So these are the contents of broad ligament which are present on the either side of the uterus. Here the peritoneum is removed, so you cannot see the broad ligament and other peritoneal folds. The true ligaments are the fibromuscular ligaments which supports the uterus, preventing the uterus from prolapse. So the true ligaments are round ligament which connects from the angle of the uterus to the pubic crest via the inguinal canal. Then transverse cervical ligaments which are called as McEnroth's ligaments, and uterosacral ligaments, pubocervical ligaments. So these are the true ligaments. Supports of the uterus, all the true ligaments are the supports of the uterus, and muscular support of the uterus, the pelvic diaphragm. The lower part of the uterus is supported by the pelvic diaphragm which is formed by levator ani and coccygeus, and perineal body which is present between the anal opening and the vaginal opening in females is the perineal body, where it is formed by the intersection of 10 muscles. So that is about the true and false ligaments. Blood supply of the uterus, primarily it is supplied by the uterine arteries, and venous plexus drains into internal iliac veins. Let's see the spotters associated with the uterus. The uterus has a whole organ, can be pinned. Identify the pinned organ and mention its location, blood supply, true ligaments associated with false ligaments, mention any few supports. So all this can be asked as the sub-questions for uterus. And this is the other specimen showing uterus, uterine tubes. So the pinned structure which is present in the forceps is the left ovary. Similarly, there will be right ovary also. Here this is the ovary. Can identify it. So spotter number 3 is the ovary. The last spotter, the cervix can be asked. The lower part of the uterus, the cervix, parts of the cervix, supravaginal part of cervix, infravaginal part of cervix. So this is the cervix which is the constricted part of uterus. So the organ which is present in my hands is the male gonads. The male gonad is located outside the abdominal cavity, that is in the scrotum. It is suspended by spermatic cord. And testis is a oval shaped organ, and the length of the testis is approximately 3.75 centimeters long, and breadth is 2.5 centimeters, and thickness is 1.8 centimeters thickness, and weight is around 10 to 15 grams of weight. And external features of the testis, before going its side determination, we'll see the external features. It has got the upper pole of the testis, lower pole of the testis, and the surface here is the lateral surface. This is the medial surface of testis. The one here, this is the anterior border, and this is the posterior border of the testis. The posterior border of the testis is separated from the epididymis. Here we can see the epididymis. This is the epididymis which is present on the posterolateral side of the testis. So by seeing the location of epididymis, we can determine the side of the testis. So epididymis is on the posterior as well as on the lateral side, the outer side. So what is present in my hands is the right testis, because the epididymis is present on the posterolateral side of the testis. And epididymis has got we can see a small projection in the upper pole of the testis, which is called appendix of testis. It is the remnant of paramesonephric duct. Similarly, there is a small projection from the epididymis, which is called appendix of epididymis. This is also a remnant of paramesonephric ducts. These two are the remnant of paramesonephric ducts. And coverings of the testis has got three coverings. The outermost covering is the tunica vaginalis, then tunica albuginea. The innermost is tunica vasculosa. Arterial supply of the testis. The testis is supplied by testicular artery, which are the branches from the abdominal aorta. Venous drainage. The veins around the testis will form plexus, which are called pampaniform plexus of veins. They are called pampaniform because they are vine-like, and these pampaniform plexus of veins drains into right and left testicular veins. The left testicular vein drains into the left renal vein, and right testicular vein drains directly into inferior vena cava. As the left testicular vein is a longer vein and it drains at right angles to the renal vein, there is a chance of compressing the left testicular vein when the colon is distended. Because of the compression, it may result in varicocele. So the left varicocele is more common than the right varicocele. So this is about the applied aspect of testis. I hope you understood the side determination of the testis. Just suspend the testis with the spermatic cord. We can see the epididymis on the posterolateral aspect. Wherever the epididymis lies towards the posterolateral aspect, that side the testis belongs to. So what I am holding is the right testis. So the spotter number 1 is the testis. So the testis can be pinned as a whole. Identify the pinned organ. So it is the right testis because the epididymis is present on posterolateral side, and then coverings of the testis, blood supply of the testis can be asked as the sub-question. The pelvic organs are explained in detail in my previous sessions. I am going to give the link in my description box. Please check it out. I hope you all like this session and hope it is very useful for you all for your practical exams. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe and press the bell button for further notifications. Bye.